The thing is that there is no one direction that is the right direction. The goal keeps changing because if there is any trajectory in evolution, it is the ascension towards complexity. If you want to be able to replicate, harvest energy, make copies of yourself, and replicate more, and you want to do it really easily, those opportunities in biology, they're called evolutionary niches. And all of the really easy niches, they've already been taken. If you look at evolution, you see organisms getting more and more complex, systems building on other systems. You see the lobster mushroom parasitizing on its host, which is itself catabolizing an autotrophic organism, which is a conglomerate of cells, meaning it's a multicellular organism, it's not a simple thing. It's a very, very complex system. As you go along evolution, you see being able to survive slowly and gradually becomes more complicated. I have this image in my mind of the giant worms of Gippsland, and to me, I think of a human as carrying around one of these giant worms inside their torso, and we simply call it a digestive system. These worms exist in Gippsland, in the mud, in the clay, without any person carrying them around. The human condition is really today characterized by the fact that we have evolved to be walking digestive systems that evolved in order to hunt and gather in the African savanna. In this context, we need to understand that in our torso, we carry around a digestive system, and we carry it around on legs. We use hands to obtain food, shove it into the beginning of the digestive system, and defecate it out at the end of the digestive system. And the brain is the control room of this vehicle that is moving around a mouth and an anus, the same mouth and anus which exists in the worm that doesn't have all the rest of the appendages. Now, there's a chemical correspondence between the digestive system, which digests the food, and the brain, which controls the body. The digestive system has to say to the brain, hey, I'm hungry. It also has to say to the brain, hey, I'm not hungry anymore. It's time to do something that isn't eat or look for food, like have sex, create shelter, all kinds of things that the digestive system basically just transmits a message to say, I'm okay now, do something else. So there's a chemical correspondence between the digestive system and the brain. That means that the blood-brain barrier, it is not a wall that doesn't allow anything in. It will allow certain chemicals, certain signals to come from the digestive system, and that is exploited. The blood-brain barrier is a layer of cells that coats all of the blood vessels that go in and out of the brain. The brain is more selective about what kind of molecules it will accept into it. It doesn't accept all of the molecules that the body does. It is more selective, and that gatekeeper is called the blood-brain barrier, and it coats all of the veins and arteries from the neck and up. Since there are certain exceptions to what the blood-brain barrier allows into the brain, that leniency in policy of chemical discourse has allowed plants, animals, and more than anything, us humans, to exploit the fact that we can find psychoactive compounds in our environment. So the brain says, I'm allowing some molecules in. The brain is basically saying, I allow myself to be manipulated by an external source, in this case, the digestive system, which is an external source. The brain is working in cooperation with, and in conjunction with, and in synchronization with. However, if you find a molecule that can make it through the blood-brain barrier, the brain will allow it in and listen to its signal, even though it doesn't know that it is actually a Trojan horse. It is actually not made by the digestive system. It is not made by the body at all. It's made by an external source, and still it has an effect on the brain. And that is what compounds that we call psychoactive. Thank you for listening to Psycho Nerds, and this is Dr. Z, and I want to thank Uri Marantz for co-producing this show with me.